Hello, my name is Dr. Linda Gorman, and I'm a neuroscientist. Neuroscience, that's a really big word, but a neuroscientist is a person who knows a lot about the brain. And I'm here today to talk to you about how you can make your brain healthy to help it feel good. It's really easy and anyone can do it. I love to talk about brain health because it's spectacular, and spectacular means great. When your brain is spectacular, you're a happy, healthy person. This is an emotional health story, which is the E in spectacular. Emotional health helps your brain stay healthy when you understand how you feel, your emotions. There's lots of emotions. There's being happy, sad, surprised, disgusted, mad. These are all emotions. Understanding that we have emotions and how we control our emotions is very important to make our brain healthy. When you understand your emotions and learn how to control your emotions, that makes your brain healthy. So let's see how we can keep your brain healthy. Have you ever really wanted something badly and then someone tells you you cannot have it? Doesn't that make you really angry? So angry that you start screaming and yelling and asking, why can't I have it? It does not make sense to you and you can't believe how unfair it is. Congratulations, you've just had a temper tantrum. This story, which is titled, I Want It Now, is going to explain why you felt the way you felt and how you can avoid these situations in the future. In doing so, it will also help you to keep your brain healthy. Most of us have either seen or had a temper tantrum. Temper tantrums are unreasonable behaviors that people exhibit when they want something and they can't have it. It could be something tangible, like they want food or a toy. It could be something to do, like staying up late or playing a video game. It could even be something like wanting someone to pay attention to you or be your friends, but instead they ignore you and they even tease you. When a person wants something and they're not getting it, it can cause them to be impulsive because of feelings they're having. They may be feeling frustrated or angry or sad, or they may be feeling all of these emotions. In response to their emotions, they either cry and scream, they may throw things or bang their fists, or they may pout. Temper tantrums are examples of impulsive behaviors that are not pretty and they rarely end up with the person getting what they want. In a lot of cases, temper tantrums are caused by the brain not being developed enough to handle the situation. The person having the temper tantrum is not thinking clearly. We see babies and toddlers having temper tantrums all the time. Part of the problem with babies and toddlers is when they're told no, they don't understand why they cannot have what they want. And the reason for this is that babies and toddlers can't talk very well or at all. So they may not be able to tell anyone what it is that they want, and they don't understand when the person tells them, no, they can't have what they want. Because the babies and toddlers don't understand why they can't have what they want, it causes them to have emotional responses. Babies and toddlers become frustrated because the person taking care of them doesn't understand what they want. This makes them angry, so they may clench their fists and try to hit things, or scream and try to throw things, or do all these behaviors. The babies and toddlers are not getting what they want, so they may feel sad. This makes them cry very loud and a lot. The babies and toddlers are feeling very strong emotions and they don't understand them. This causes them to have impulsive behaviors like a temper tantrum. But did you know that temper tantrums are not just for babies and toddlers? Elementary school, middle school, high school, even college age people have been known to have temper tantrums. Depending on how much your brain has developed or whether or not you've learned how to control your emotions, we may see very similar kinds of behaviors that we saw in the babies and the toddlers. It's not pretty when a baby or a toddler has a temper tantrum, and it's even worse when an older child or a young adult has one. Just think, you're in the middle of class, and you decide, I think I want to play a game on my tablet or laptop. The idea of playing the game makes you really happy and you really want to play. So you pull out your tablet, turn it on, open the game, and begin to play while your teacher's still teaching the lesson. This is definitely an impulsive behavior because you know that there are rules for when you can be on your device and what you can do on it. The teacher sees you on your tablet and asks what you're doing. You tell the teacher, and then the teacher tells you to put it away. This makes you really angry. You start to scream and yell at the teacher. The teacher tells you to calm down and that you can play on your device later, but you want to play the game and you want to play it now. Obviously, this is not the kind of behavior you should be having in the classroom or anywhere else. So what's going on and how can you stop this kind of behavior? Well, there's a part of your brain, which is called the frontal lobes, which is in the front of your head, and this part of your brain controls a lot of behaviors that can be considered to be impulsive. These parts of your brain are still growing and will continue to grow and develop until people are in their mid-20s or even later. Remember, everyone has a brain, and everyone's brain grows and develops at different rates. This part of your brain takes so long to grow and develop because it needs information about the world the person lives in order for the person to make good choices. When the frontal lobes in your brain are not completely developed, you may respond impulsively to certain situations. Acting impulsively means that you do things without thinking about them. You're motivated to do them because you have a strong desire or you really want something like food or toys or playing a video game. Impulsive behaviors can be what you do in response to an emotional situation, like when someone is not giving you what you want or not letting you do what you want to do, or they're ignoring you or they're teasing you. Because your frontal lobes are not fully developed, you act in response to your emotions without thinking. Impulsive behaviors can also be behaviors that are risky. Risky behaviors do not always get what you want, and risky behaviors may cause harm to either you or someone else or to someone else's stuff. Most impulsive behaviors are behaviors that you should not be doing, so they are bad choices of what to do, like chasing a ball into the street without looking for cars or trying to touch something on a hot stove. Again, impulsive behaviors are usually done when someone is not thinking about the consequences of their actions. So, how do you stop doing impulsive behaviors when your brain is still growing? There are actually a number of different things that you can do to stop impulsive behaviors. When you're feeling a very strong emotion that makes you want to do something right away, then do something that makes you stop or pause. Either take a deep breath in and out slowly, or maybe count to 10. Whatever will make you stop before you do something. Then think about what you want to do and decide if it's a good thing to do. Be sure to think about your consequences of the behaviors. So in our playing a game during class example, rather than immediately getting out your tablet, you needed to stop and think about what you were going to do. Are you supposed to play while the teacher's teaching? Of course not. So even though you know that playing on your tablet makes you happy, this is not the time. When your teacher told you to sit down and you started yelling, was that the right thing to do? Of course not. You know that yelling in the classroom is not acceptable. We learn about inside voices early. Plus, if you thought about it before yelling, you would have realized that yelling in a classroom is bad enough, but then yelling at a teacher, not good. You were probably going to be getting into trouble. So by stopping and thinking about what you were going to do, or by breathing or counting to 10, hopefully you would have been able to stop yourself and your impulsive brain. The other thing to think about is what triggered the impulsive behavior. When you thought about playing games during the lesson, that may have made you feel happy because you really love that game. When you really enjoy doing something, your emotions can be exaggerated, and this could cause you to do impulsive behaviors. By stopping and thinking before you pulled out your tablet, then you may realize the whole reason the idea popped into your head was because you didn't get to play it all yesterday. You were busy with your homework, you were busy with soccer practice. You also felt like you already knew what the teacher was going over today. Because you really wanted to play and felt confident in the material that the teacher was teaching, you felt like you could break the rules just this once. Then you made it worse by having a temper tantrum. By stopping and thinking about what you were doing, you may realize that you weren't really mad at the teacher for stopping you, so you're not sure why you were yelling. In fact, you probably were embarrassed for not realizing that your brain wanted you to do something that you knew you shouldn't do. Stopping and thinking about what you were feeling, identifying your emotions before you do something impulsive will help you to avoid temper tantrums. Understanding that your emotions tend to be exaggerated when you're really excited or know something makes you really happy may make you more careful to plan and schedule times for those activities. Doing things that make you happy, that makes your brain happy. Emotions can get exaggerated when you're tired or when you're hungry, so getting enough sleep and food is also important for you to be able to help your brain stay healthy. When your emotions are exaggerated, you tend to act impulsively and you don't think clearly. This is because chemicals are being released in the emotional parts of your brain. And these chemicals affect your frontal lobes, making it even harder for your frontal lobes, which control your impulsive behaviors and which are still growing, to do its job. You can help your brain by identifying the emotions that are triggering your impulsive behaviors. You can also help your brain by stopping to think when you feel like doing something impulsive. It also helps if you think about the consequences for what you're about to do. Doing some if-then scenarios. So if I play my tablet during class, then I'll probably get into trouble. If I yell at the teacher for not letting me play on my tablet, then I'll definitely get into trouble. If I get into trouble at school, then I won't be able to play with my friends after school. Thinking about the consequences of your actions before you even do them can help you to stop the impulsive behaviors. If someone tells you that you can't have something or do something that you want to do, then you need to think about who is telling you and why they're telling you that you can't have or do something that you want to do. If this is someone that you trust to take care of you, like parents, caregivers, teachers, then you need to understand that they have your best interests in mind. People you trust will help you control your impulsive behaviors. They're going to stop you from doing something they know is not good for you. They're going to try to help you control your impulses, which will help you to keep your brain healthy. Learning how to identify your emotions, especially when they're exaggerated, is important to being able to control your impulsive behaviors. Learning things like being hungry or being tired are some things that can cause your emotions to become exaggerated is also important because it helps you control your impulsive behaviors. Learning how to stop those impulsive behaviors like temper tantrums that you may have with exaggerated emotions is a skill that will help you throughout your entire life. Because everyone is different, including everyone's brain, You have to find something that you can do to stop your impulsive reactions, whether it's taking some breaths or counting or something else. Do whatever it takes to make sure that you're stopping and thinking. This will help you develop good strategies that you can use throughout your entire life. Being able to identify those emotions that trigger your impulsive behaviors and coming up with good strategies that you can use throughout your entire life will not only keep you out of trouble, but it will make your brain healthy. So thank you all for letting me talk to you today about how emotions can cause you to do impulsive things, like having a temper tantrum, and how you can stop this from happening. I've enjoyed spending time with you today talking about your brain, and I hope that you've had some fun and learned something about your brain. Remember, while your brain, particularly your frontal cortex, is still growing, you need to understand that you may not always make the right decisions on how to behave. Be on the lookout for impulsive behaviors and help your brain to make the right decisions. It can be as easy as stopping to think or stopping to count. Being able to control your impulsive behaviors will also make your brain healthier. And we all know that helping your brain stay healthy is spectacular. So thank you so much for all your help. And remember, brain health, not just spectacular, it's fun too. We'd also like to thank the people at Johns Hopkins University, especially Dr. Ron Daniels, for helping us tell this story about how you can control your being able to stop saying, I want it now, by controlling your impulsive behaviors. It's all about learning to identify what emotions are triggering your impulsive behaviors and realizing that while your brain, especially your frontal cortex, is still growing, you need to help your brain to stop doing impulsive behaviors. So figure out what you can do, whether it's breathing or counting or whatever it is that you want to do to make sure that you stop and think before your impulsive behaviors.